Shiba Inu coin hitting 5 cents in 2022? Shiba Inu price prediction. As cryptocurrencies all over the world are beginning to turn around from the insanely dramatic price dip of the turn of the year, and Bitcoin and Ethereum both climbing back towards the positions that they held in November, it's time to take a look at how things are going for Shiba Inu. One of the most pressing things that people talk about when they talk about Shiba Inu is the subject of whether or not it can realistically hit 1 cent, 10 cents, $1, etc. Let's take a look at the realistic chances of seeing Shiba Inu hit 5 cents in 2022. So, can Shiba Inu hit 5 cents in 2022? What would have to happen for this to be realistic, and what are we looking at in terms of its price over the next 12 months or so? As always, I'm going to answer these questions and much more, so don't you go anywhere. And remember that the best way to stay updated on all the news you don't want to miss out on about getting rich through SHIB is to subscribe and ring that notification bell to make sure. Of course, you also need to remember that I'm not a professional financial advisor. There's always a risk whenever you invest in cryptocurrency, or anything else for that matter, and that you should always be vigilant and do your research. But with that said, and if you're finished subscribing, I think we can go ahead and jump right in to find out what's going on. Well, first, the price as usual, and let's see what's happening with SHIB today. SHIB continues to bounce around from the terrible events of the new year, where the price that had previously been at 80 millionths of a dollar in October, comfortably resting at around the 40 millionths mark by the beginning of December, plummeted, sinking as low as 17 millionths by the end of January. That bounce back is real though, and SHIB continues to trend gradually upwards after a major spike saw it return to the mid-30s. It's been up and down, of course, but the bullish trend continues to see SHIB today sitting in the low 30s, ready to retest that 35 millionths barrier once again, and unlock the liquidity above. But enough about that. On to today's topic. So, can Shiba Inu hit a cent in 2022? Well, there are a lot of things to consider here. I'll come out and say what I think first of all, and that is that, no. You are unlikely to see a coin with a stash of 550 trillion tokens hitting 1 cent each by the end of 2022. But that's not to say that there isn't a lot going on that could really help with the effort. There are a lot of projects and plans that stand to make SHIB one of the most viable coins to use, trade, buy, sell, and invest in long term. The first of these, and lurkers and investors really need to pay attention here, is the Shebarium Project. This is a project that will be helping Shiba Inu massively. The problem with modern crypto, by which I mean cryptos that aren't also running on their own blockchains or are used for a specific purpose like game currencies, etc., is that they're just that, cryptocurrency. That's all. Most of these newer cryptos, particularly meme tokens, began life as jokes or ribs, but they didn't have any real-world utility. No way to actually use them, which is why they flounder in obscurity and eventually become completely irrelevant. The Shiba Inu team is different though, because they want to create actual change, real facility in the doggy dollar, and one of the most important ways that they can do this is to establish a blockchain that can be used for transfers. Like most currencies, NFT projects, and dApps, Shiba Inu is running on the Ethereum ERC20 blockchain, which might seem great at first glance, but anyone with a bit of working knowledge will tell you that this is currently becoming more and more of a drawback. Ethereum has become probably the most popular blockchain in the world for use in day-to-day activities, hosting projects, etc., but it's still running on the proof-of-work model, by which I mean it requires people mining and validating transactions through a hell of a lot of computer processing power in order to operate. Because of the time sink and energy required to constantly be verifying transactions as mining, the cost of performing transactions on the network has skyrocketed. I am talking, of course, about gas prices, the fees that you pay to use the network to buy, sell, or trade a currency or an NFT or anything else. In Ethereum's case, the gas prices are known to get so high that they actually outweigh the value of what you're trading. This has caused a lot of people to become jaded with Ethereum and has paved the way for other chains like Solana to step in and offer their platform. Now, Vitalik Buterin, creator of Ethereum, is well aware of this, and so he's taken steps to ensure that Ethereum 2.0 stays relevant in the years to come. The most important part of this is to get rid of the proof-of-work model and replace it with proof of stake, in which holders of Ether or other currencies may be able to stake their tokens into the liquidity pool of the network, allowing for faster transactions to be done quickly and without the need for massive energy-guzzling computer rigs. The stakers on the network will then be rewarded when their tokens are used to verify a transaction, and they will gain interest. There's a lot of the crypto space moving into this direction currently, and with good reason. The transaction also costs a fraction of what it used to in gas prices. But what does this have to do with Shiba Inu? Well, Shebarium is going to be Shiba Inu's version of Ethereum 2.0, except it looks like it'll be launching before Ethereum 2.0 is actually going to be able to. By building a layer 2 on top of the existing Ethereum chain, SHIB will be able to use its own liquidity, of which it has tons, more on that later, to facilitate these transactions. Ergo, you get cheaper, faster transactions before Ethereum 2.0, and Shiba Inu coin becomes the best currency that you can use to facilitate your own transactions. That's great, as like I've said, there are a ton of ways that SHIB could benefit from being a currency people hold for an actual purpose, rather than just to hold it. However, it still doesn't deal with the biggest problem that'll stop SHIB from hitting $1 this year. Yeah, it's the same old problem that it's always been: the supply. I mentioned earlier that Shiba Inu coin has a supply of 550 trillion tokens. It's actually been cut in half from previously being over 1 quadrillion. And while that does provide exceptional liquidity, it does absolutely nothing for the price. Shiba Inu, with its insanely high supply but relatively low value, still has one of the top market caps in the world, ranked just behind Dogecoin, its rival and reason for being. Sounds good, but what happens when the price of a token increases? Well, the market cap does too. If Shiba Inu coin were to reach 1 cent in price, that would instantly give it a market cap of over $5.5 trillion in value, which would outweigh the entire crypto space's market cap besides, and cause absolute chaos for actual fiat money, which would have massive knock-on effects in much the same way as Joe Biden's printing of billions of dollars last year, causing crushing inflation to the economy and other economies around the world. So we can't have SHIB hit 1 cent in value without a serious amount of the currency being taken out of existence. To put this into some perspective, even if hundreds of millions of tokens were burned every week, it would still take decades for the supply to hit a limit that it's feasible for price increases. Even 1 trillion tokens would be an exorbitant number to exist. So that means that realistically, SHIB needs to burn 500 trillion tokens at the very least to get the price up to above a cent. This is probably sounding like a serious mess that spells the doom of the coin, right? Wrong. In fact, more and more burn projects are popping up all over the place to help. At the moment, we all know about Shiboshis, the line of NFTs produced by SHIB that can be minted and named for a $100 fee, or about 3.3 million tokens that get instantly burned. Very good so far, and that'll get higher and higher as the Oshiverse game comes out and gives the NFTs some kind of purpose. But what else? Even the Shiboshi burns, if all 10,000 were named and 3 million tokens were burned for every NFT, that would still only be 32 billion SHIB tokens, just over 3% of 1 trillion, and SHIB has over 500 trillion. To aid in this effort, more burns must be done. But it's hard to convince someone to burn their own money, unless it's in exchange for something. Bigger Entertainment, the first crypto record label, is well aware of this, and the recent burn parties have resulted in further hundreds of millions of SHIB tokens being burned. This is great, but again, more is needed. We have to have 1,000 bigger entertainments burning every week in order to see substantial growth in Shiba Inu. So, while Shiba Inu coin can absolutely hit 5 cents in value one day, it's going to take dedication from the SHIB army, a lot of sacrifice, and the belief that it can be done. It's incredibly unlikely that Shiba Inu coin will hit 5 cents in value in 2022, or even 1 cent in value for that matter, but it could be very well possible in the longer term if everyone gets involved and does their part. But what do you think? Are you interested in getting involved in a burn party to ultimately drive up the price of Shiba Inu? Tell us in the comment section below. In the meantime, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel with the notification bell turned on so that you never miss out on some important information. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. By the way, do you want to make fast trades and profits every day? Check out the world-class automated crypto trading bot, CryptoHopper. Fast, automated trading and portfolio management for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and over 100 other cryptocurrencies on the world's top crypto exchanges. What are you waiting for? Use the link in the description.